Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, here we are again. Today, I'm just going to very simply go over some of the hot topics on social media. Some of the things that people are talking about. And I want to go over some of the best responses that I get to some of the things that I post. Some of them are hilarious. Some of them are just uninformed. Some of them are completely ridiculous. And maybe we can talk about that a little bit. I'll be happy to have anybody comment on some of the on this video. I invite it, the same as I do with any of the responses that I get. I kind of enjoy having people on the opposite side of the fence. I enjoy sometimes the debate and the ridiculousness that comes with that comes along with some of the things that are being said today, being pronounced on social media. I think I got my mic. I think I got everything figured out in as far as video and sound goes, but who knows? I guess we'll figure that out here shortly. So just starting off. I see, postings, people talking about Chris Christie, some of the members of the GOP that are mainstream media, and Democrats are, even the GOP's turning against him. Well, let's talk about this. Everybody's talking about unfounded allegations of fraud. Well, they're founded. Nobody gives up. I know if I had an attorney, I sure wouldn't want them going out and talking about, especially in this case, if I was Trump, I wouldn't want them going out and telling everybody, especially the mainstream media that is so obviously biased against President Trump. I wouldn't want them knowing what my next moves are. So the more information that they give away, the worse it's gonna be. He doesn't want to give anybody time to, especially the Democrats, especially Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, and the other lapdogs that surround that party. Being the mainstream media, the Clown News Network, even now Fox, and some of the other unmentionable mainstream media outlets, doesn't want to give them time to plan, disrupt, discredit any of the things that he's got going on and any of the proof that they have. That's just smart. That's smart chess playing. I don't believe that if his attorneys did come out and show all of the evidence that they have, that the Democrats wouldn't go ahead and try and fix that as well, or cheat somehow and try and refute the evidence. They don't want that until it gets to court. It's not for the media. It's not for the Democrats and their lapdog media to discredit it before it gets to the Supreme Court. That is my guess. That's my thoughts. Make no mistake about it. President Trump is not a fool, and neither are his attorneys. I get stupid responses to some of this stuff that gets that I post. I'm not worried about Chris Christie. I'm not worried about any of the other Rhino Republicans that want to talk about what President Trump should and shouldn't be doing. I don't believe that they know what he's doing, and that being said, I don't think he's going to give up any. I don't think he's going to give up any information as far as that goes. Not to even the people closest to him other than his attorneys. I believe President Trump has been so silent because he doesn't want to give anybody ammunition. He doesn't want to lead on to what is actually happening, the actual proof that they have, the actual evidence that they have. I believe that's why Vice President Pence did his press conference and walked out without answering questions, because the media wants to hound them on what they have. Why wouldn't they? If I was going to war, I would want to know what my opponent has planned. I would want to know his next step. Part of trying to figure that out is information. Critical information can help you beat that. And they've won these battles. I believe they won these little battles in the state courts. This is where you have to think a little bit out of the box, but I do believe that they lost in the states' courts, and they knew they were going to. I believe that them going to court in the states with all the counting and all of the other allegations that they have is a smokescreen. I believe that was designed simply to keep the Democrats busy while they went after what they really needed. I think you're going to see, when this goes to the Supreme Court, I think you're going to see a huge, huge turnabout of events. And then I want to hear all the Democrats cry. I'm not crying. And if Trump loses, I'm still not crying, because the whole purpose behind this, I believe, is even if President Trump doesn't win this election, I believe when he runs in 2024, he will, and he'll be able to come out, and at that time he'll be able to say, I told you so. Everything I said was going to happen, happened. You'll see how all these policies that everybody thinks Joe Biden is going to put in place to save them from what, I don't know. I have yet to get a response, and I've posted it a dozen times. I've posted it on the responses that I've gotten. I've posted it as a direct question on my Facebook wall, and I have yet to get a response. I don't care how you feel about President Trump, and this goes out to all of the Democrats out there that just want to spew whatever CNN has told them they're allowed to say. Tell me what about President Trump's policies it is that you don't like. I don't care if he grabs women by the crotch. I don't care if he says things that make you cry in the night. I don't care about any of that. It's not a personality contest. What I want to know is, what of his policies is it that you don't like, that you feel is bad for the United States and bad for its people? Don't give me don't give me he lied. Don't give me he doesn't have a plan. Don't give me any of that. I want to know, what about his policies you don't like? Okay, I believe he had a medical plan. I don't believe it was solid. I believe the reason that he didn't put one out there was simply because he was going to take Obama's plan and he was going to look at each section of it and find out what's working, what isn't, and fix the parts that aren't working. That's what I believe. Now, if Obama's medical plan is working for you, fine. It doesn't work for me. Okay, it doesn't work for me at all. So let's when you put these things out there, people just want to go to CNN and they want to see, well, what is CNN saying about it, because it must be true. Let me see what I'm allowed to say about this stuff. So when we get into some of the things, and I apologize, I'm going into this. So, I'm not going to mention names, but I put out there, how much more evidence do you need, and listed all of the things that actually are provable, the things that we know. We know Dominion. We know they deleted 2.7 million votes, at least, while Trump's team kept everybody busy with what the courts were doing locally in the states. Trump had a different plan, and his attorneys is just very smart. Okay. These people had, everybody wondered, why was everybody upset when he fired his Department of Justice? Well, because when he fired the head of the Department of Justice, that is the only guy that could have stood in the way and was going to stand in the way of sending the military in, or the FBI, whoever it was that went in there. I've heard both. Maybe it was a combined effort, but he was going to stand in the way. And while everybody was concerned about what was going on in the states that were contested, Trump and his team sent the military, the FBI in. They seized the servers from Spain, Germany, and Venezuela, where they were keeping our votes. There's no reason that our votes should have been tallied outside of the United States, okay? Now all of a sudden, Seidel is the company that they raided, that was holding on to these servers. We already know George Soros has a big part in that. There's a few Democrats that have stock in that company. Pretty amazing that now all of a sudden that we've seized those servers, everybody's quiet. Except the mainstream media. You hear the same garbage from the mainstream media, the Clown News Network, ABC, NBC, and even Fox now about the virus. That's old news. That's old news. You're not going to see any change in that when Biden takes office, or if Biden takes office. If you think he's your savior, go ahead, but I can tell you right now, no mandate is going to stop what's going on with this virus. All right, that's not that's my opinion, but you mark my words and you check it out. I believe that that there's nothing that's going to change that. We know that Dominion switched votes. The CEO or head of Dominion even posted on his Facebook, because he's such a brilliant guy, not to worry about Trump being reelected, because he made sure that that wasn't going to happen. I don't have the exact quote, and I don't know if it's still up on his page. I don't really care. There's nothing he can say that makes any difference. But if there was nothing on those servers that they wanted to hide, then you tell me why all of their office closed up overnight after we got the service. Every Dominion office worldwide closed up, moved overnight. The owner or CEO or whatever he is, we're going to call him a suspect, was supposed to go before Congress and decided not to do that, hired an attorney, and nobody knows where he is. Nobody can ask him any questions. He has decided, I guess, that it's not good to try and defend himself or his program or answer questions about how vulnerable or how it can be tweaked or hacked or any of that. He didn't want to answer any of those questions. And why would he? Why would he? He'd be a fool to go out there and do that. his testimony alone could overturn the election. Yeah, so, when you have fools like that, that are now running scared, and here's my thoughts on this. I believe if they go ahead and start talking about these servers, and they ever do get him in front of Congress, I believe his attorneys will probably tell him, take what you can, man. Do what you can, get out of this mess that you're in. And I believe that he's a coward. I believe he's going to go ahead and go out there, and he's going to roll everybody under the bus that has anything to do with it. I believe that's partly why he might be hiding right now. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. But the emails or the votes that we know were deleted out of Dominion was one of the things that was listed on the list that I posted. The second topic was data analysis. Finds 221,000 Pennsylvania votes switched from President Trump to President Biden. There are, jeez, man, I watched it happen. I even turned to my roommate and I said, hey, why are his votes going down? You don't count votes, and then all of a sudden the totals change, and it goes from Trump losing votes to Biden gaining votes. That makes no sense, and this was all in live time, and you can probably go back and on election night and watch some of the clips from Fox and from these other networks, and physically watch those votes go away from Trump and get added to Biden. I'm curious about that. I may do another show on that, just because it might be a little bit behind the 8 ball on that, but I might do that if they haven't taken those newscasts down from election night. So that goes along with the same thing. Literally, the reason Texas didn't use the Dominion software, because when they pitched Texas and wanted to sell it to them, according to the lieutenant governor, they ixnayed it. They said, no, we're not using it, because their testers, the people that they used to test the system before they decided to purchase it, were literally able to get in with a cell phone, plug it in, download the information, and change the votes, change the ballots. So, then there's 900, and the third topic on this list that I posted was 941,000 Trump votes deleted out of another server. States using Dominion voting systems switched 435,000 votes from Trump to Biden. Let me just go back here for a second, okay? Because this whole Dominion voting system is just a wreck. It's a mess. Let me go back here for a second. Stay with me, folks. All right, so the counties and the states that used the Dominion voting system are the states that we're having troubles with. Why do you think that was, huh? All the important states. Why don't they care about some of these other states that used this voting system? Because they knew. They knew Pennsylvania, they knew Georgia, Michigan, Arizona. Some of these are the states that Trump needed and would have won, I believe, if this was done correctly. At the very least, I think, in my opinion, that at the very least, the Supreme Court should either overturn the election or order a new election with hand count only. voter ID in hand, and hand count only. If you're not registered already, you don't get registered. That's the end of it. So, there are people saying, well, let me just read something. You're complaining too much. Just one of the responses that I got. Just accept the results like Democrats had to in 2016. Trump lost by the same amount Hillary did in 2016. That's false. That's false. Hillary lost by less. And I'm not complaining too much. We're only in this for 2 weeks after the election now. If you say we're complaining too much, and now the narrative for the Democrats and the liberals that like to follow my page and so on, the narrative is becoming just accept it after 4 years of crying in their cereal and not accepting that Trump was the president. I'm not going to accept that Biden is my president. There isn't anything that he's going to do that's going to affect my life one way or the other. It's going to affect everybody else. Okay, AOC, she wants to put my name on a list. Put my name on a list. Guess what? I own a business. I don't care. I'll take it underground. You can't stop me from working. You can't stop me from making an income, and you can't stop me from backing President Trump, and you can't stop me for fighting for my liberty, for justice, for my Constitution, and the American way. The American way is not to sponge off of the government like these liberal socialists want to do, and the liberal party is promising. There isn't anybody out there, as I said before, of my liberal friends that has been able to give me one policy that Trump did, that Trump passed, or anything that Trump has done that's bad for America. So one of the other things, one of the other responses I get, and I invite this guy's comments. I'm not going to say who he is, but he says, you know what, I'm a complete fool and I deserve what I get. Biden won. Trump may be facing treason charges. You and all of his little Trump followers will be backing a president that will be charged for treason. Put that in your Kool-Aid and drink it. Good luck. This guy, I can only assume from reading any of the comments, he told me, he said in another post that Trump should be put against a wall in front of a firing line, and that if I want to fight for him, that I should be there with him, and I don't care what this guy says. Means nothing to me, because reading some of his comments, I'm not. I don't know. Maybe he's in high school or grade school, or it's obvious that his thought process is that of a seventh grader. Really doesn't know much, misinformed, and kind of hysterical. I kind of laughed a little bit when he said Trump will be tried for treason, because yet has this man been able to give me one instance where Trump might be tried for treason? So they impeached him, but they could not remove him from office. Impeachment just simply means he went to court. It doesn't mean that he was guilty. They found nothing. They absolutely found nothing that they could convict him of with this whole Russian hoax. But see, it's okay with guys like this fool, this gentleman. It's okay with him and the other gentleman, because they want to complain about how far into debt we are. But it's okay with them that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats spent billions to try and prosecute Trump and failed, because they never had the proof that they needed to put him up for treason, or get him out of office, for that matter. So I invite this person, if he watches the video, and I did in my response to him, invite him to tell me what it is, in his words, that Trump did to warrant treason. I'll give you an instance right now for why Biden should be tried for treason, and I believe that this is part of the reason that the Democrats, the liberals, are fighting so hard to get Biden in office, because they know if Trump wins, all of them are either going to be forced out of politics or they're going to go to jail. They're going to go to prison. Biden also, and let me tell you why. This man has not provided any proof at all, that Trump has done anything to be tried for treason. Okay? Now, if you want proof, Biden should be tried for treason. We've got to go back to the laptop. We got to go back to that whole Ukraine thing. That's not over, folks. That's just sitting on the back burner, because there's bigger fish to fry right now. But if Trump gets in, that fish will be in the skillet real quick. And let me tell you, Joe Biden provided his own proof of treason. He used the vice presidency, he used that office for personal gain. You can tell me he didn't, and there's no proof. There's video out there. I'm not going to show it on here because I didn't feel like looking it up. You can look it up yourself. That there's video proof. Biden sitting next to two of his cronies and literally saying on camera, fire the Attorney General or you don't get the money. The money that was promised to the Ukraine. Joe Biden used it as leverage to get the Attorney General in the Ukraine that was investigating the company his son was working with off the case. It's on tape, it's verified, it's factual, and I don't care what you Democrats tell me. I will post it on my page. I will go through hell and high water to find it, and I'll post it on my page if you don't believe it. But the reason I didn't waste my time is because liberals don't listen to logic. They listen to CNN, they listen to the Clown News Network and all their little clowns in their little circus there. If CNN was worth their salt, why is AT&T trying to sell them? Why? Because they've lost all credibility. You sell when it's high, and you dump it when it starts to go low. CNN has lost all their credibility. The only people watching are the sheep. The sheep in the Democratic Party that don't know where else to go or are too lazy to actually look up the facts. Because if they did, they wouldn't be on that side of the aisle. I guarantee you that. Either that or they're so lazy they don't want to look it up and they just want to sponge off of the free stuff that Biden is supposedly going to give them. All right, so so the other comment was fight for a con man, a liar, doesn't give a shit about what's happening to our country, and a traitor. That's right. I hope they line him up against the wall, shoot him and you. And if I want him so bad, maybe I should join him. Well, that's the difference between me and you, my friend. I will fight for my freedom, for the Constitution and the United States. Biden's been in office for 47 years, and he was vice president for 4 of them, and did nothing for the people. Nothing. Zero. And once again, I ask you, provide something, anything, one thing that Biden has done to help the American people in his 47 years. I guarantee you, you can't. Guarantee it. I promise you. You will not find anything that has benefited the country or the people in the country. You'll find a whole bunch of stuff that he said that is racist. You'll find videos of him calling our military dumb bastards. You'll find You'll even find a video of him saying that he didn't want his kids to go to school with black folks because he didn't want them in a what did he call it? I forgot it. I forgot the whole thing there. He didn't want them going to school. It had something to do with a jungle. So go ahead and look it up. You'll find all these things, but you're not going to find anything on policies that Joe Biden actually put into force or tried to put into force. I don't think he's ever written a policy. I think he's always been just one of the bootleggers on the back end of bad policies throughout the Democrats' reign, whenever it was. So. This guy tells me I don't know who or what I'm dealing with. If I was you, block me because I'm through hearing from you. So for both of our sanity, I'm through with you. Piss off. That's fine, Mr. Whatever. I'll call this guy out because he thinks he's something. So Mr. Robert Kyle, you go ahead and you try and follow through on your threat. Okay, I am not concerned about you or anybody else. I don't know who I'm dealing with. Well, I do. Okay, I'm dealing with a liberal that has no idea what the hell he's talking about. Okay, so that's the only person that I'm going to mention. The rest of these folks that comment on my page, they really do not have. They're mostly just misinformed. I'm going to call them bleeding hearts back in the day. I haven't heard that term for quite a while. They call them bleeding hearts. Everything for everybody. It's not fair. You make more money. It's not fair this. It's not fair that. You take care of your family. I can't. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. What's not fair is that these people do not want to work. They pay taxes. Not saying that they're not out there doing their part. Not all of them. I'm going to say a lot of them are not out there doing their part. They're not contributing. So some of the other responses that I've gotten. When people tell me about fairness and because I want to protect my money, I want to protect my family, I want my income to go towards my family and a better life for them, and not just anybody else. That doesn't mean that I don't care for people. Every night that I go out to work, I stop at the same fast food restaurant. I buy 2 meals and one in a hot cup of coffee. One of those meals and the hot cup of coffee goes to the veteran that's sitting outside. He's there every night with his sign, and I feed him every night that I go out and work. But that being said, I don't feel obligated to do it. Nobody is stealing my income and taking food off of my family's plate for me to do that. That's how I feel about it. So I've posed a half-joking solution to a lot of this stuff. One of those half-joking solutions is very simply, why don't they take the social programs? And I used an example. I know let me finish my thought. So I used an example. I said, okay, if you want to fund Planned Parenthood, there should be a checkbox on the everybody's income tax for all these social programs. I don't care what it is. Planned Parenthood, you want to fund Planned Parenthood, and I decide I don't want to do that. You check the box, and your portion of your tax money goes to that. If I want to fund police, I check the box, and my money goes to fund police. And I don't have to fund Planned Parenthood or anything I don't agree with. Now, I was told, this is how Democrats work and liberals work. When you get into a picture of painting something like that might be fair and work for everybody, Then they want to bring up semantics. I know the PD, the police department, is not funded with tax money. I know it's infrastructure. I know all about that stuff. I was just using it as an example. But let's do something different. You want a social program to put in place a PD? Okay. You fund Planned Parenthood, I don't, because you checked the box and I didn't. Okay? Socialized medicine, you want to fund that? You check the box. Your taxes go to that? I don't. My taxes don't go to that. That's fair, right? I mean, it's simple and it's basic. Am I not correct? But if you want to fund something and it's a social program, then you can vote on your taxes. Check the little box. Right? And if I don't have to, and my tax dollars don't go to that. I've been told on the 3 conversations that I had about something like that, that doesn't work. That's foolish. That's stupid. It's ignorant. Why is it foolish, stupid, and ignorant? Question mark. I'll tell you why. Because those programs would not get funded. Not just by Republicans. There's Democrats also that don't want to fund some of those programs. And they know if they put it on your tax return or they ask you if you would like to do it, when you can voluntarily do it, those programs would never get funded. People tell me I'm selfish and I don't care. I do. I care. I also care about my family. My family comes before anybody else. My family should not have to do without, nor anybody else's family should have to do without, because our taxes are so high that they steal that money and they send it to programs that we don't care to use or that we will never use. I will never use any program that Planned Parenthood has. Why should I pay for it? If you tell me I'm selfish, then tell me I'm selfish. You know, I've been told I'm selfish. That doesn't concern me, because those people don't know where my money goes, and it doesn't go just for selfish reasons. I help a lot. I help out of more than a few organizations when I have the extra money. So that being said, listen, there's nothing that can make this argument any better, because those people, they only care about what they can get. They don't care about whether you're doing okay. They don't care that you might have lost your insurance, or that food is coming off of your table for your kids because you now have to pay because of the Obamacare, your deductible doubled, or you might have lost your insurance. They don't care. They don't care about that, and they don't think about that because it doesn't benefit them. See, those are the people that think that the government is going to take care of them. Okay, so, I also posted, Biden's tax plan will likely make companies leave the U.S., according to a New York City billionaire businessman, not Donald Trump, another New York City billionaire who is already moving his money out of the country. So, what? And that man is not a Republican. He's a liberal. He's a Democrat. He has no interest in funding your deals. He's moving his business out of the country. He's moving his money out of the country. So those of you that think it's going to be all great under Biden, when you can't find a job and your cost of living goes up, you'll know why. And it won't be because of Trump. I'm saying it here and I'm saying it now. Nothing that Biden puts into effect is going to be because of President Trump. We had a great economy. The pandemic hit. Everybody shut down the economy. And that's why we're in a position that we are. And our economy is still doing great. It's not where it was, but it's still doing great. So what can we say about that? That the pandemic brought the economy down to the level that the Democrats want it to be at? See, there's no way that they could have beat Donald Trump talking about the economy, because our economy was booming. Okay, so something had to be done to kill the economy so that they can say, look at what Trump did to our economy. Trump didn't do it to the economy. The pandemic did it to the economy. Can't plan for those things. That's just the way that it is. It's a pandemic. It's a virus. You're not going to control it. My thoughts on that. There are more and more doctors coming out right now, and they're talking about how the numbers are fixed, and more are coming out and talking about it. So for those that don't know, very simply put, when they swab for your DNA, let's say picture your DNA sample as an onion, and they slice very thin slices off of that to look for the virus. And to find the flu virus, to look for the flu virus, we're going to, for simplicity's sake, say 10 slices is the max to find the flu virus. If they don't find it, and you're tested and they don't find it within 10 slices, then they're going to go ahead and say you don't have it, and you're certainly not in the infectious category where you can infect somebody else. You're not. So with the COVID virus, they slice 40 times. 40 slices or more to find the virus. And if they find the virus, you are not able to you're not infectious, you're not able to pass it on to somebody else at that point. So the stronger the infection you have, the less slices off of this virus or DNA onion, so to speak. The worse the infection you have, the less slices it takes to find it. They don't search for it 40 times. They don't search for anything 40 times, as far as I know. Maybe some of the more debilitating stuff, but when they go down, if they find it within 40 slices, yes, they're going to say you have it. They're not going to say the severity of it. They may or may not even quarantine you for it. One of the doctors that I was listening to, I believe I posted it on my page, he gave all the details about it. You're more than welcome to look it up and find it. I may even post that video at the end of this live stream. So look for that. But the other thing he was saying, so when a doctor fills out your death certificate, he puts down leading cause, and then he puts down contributing factors, and then he puts down any secondary items or issues that may or may not have had any impact on it at all. Well, that's typical of how these death certificates are filled out. A lot of the COVID death certificates are just coming out saying COVID-19. Okay, well, it had to be something, because they've already established that people that are dying from COVID had an underlying condition, or there was some other contributing factor. People don't just die of COVID. Okay, there were other contributing factors. The media would love for you to believe if you get COVID, you die. Right? There's a 99.7% survival rate with COVID. So there's so much more to cover, and we'll just keep doing that. I just wanted to bring out some of the ridiculousness that some of these liberals are doing. They can threaten me. There isn't anything that they can do to me that I won't let happen to me. People, come on then. When it comes to that, and those were actual, and you can probably go to my Facebook page and look at some of my posts, and you can see what some of these fools talk about on my Facebook. Some of the threats and some of the ridiculousness that they bring out there. I would go ahead and end that here. I've gone on a little bit longer. I try to keep these streams to about a half hour, 30 minutes or so. But hey, let me know what you think. Support the stream, follow, like the videos. Give me your insight. Let me know what it is you're thinking, and we'll go ahead and talk about it. Appreciate y'all. For God and country, God bless.